Nick Petrick!
Hey.
Week 2 on the pod. What's going on?
Not much, my friend. Just out of town for the weekend, up here in College Station to watch the Super Bowl.
That's fun. Are you going to the Super Bowl?
Oh, absolutely not. Nothing could drag me down to that part of Houston today.
Okay, I could totally feel that. Nick, you rude person. You didn't say hi to our guests.
Yes. Yeah, let's get a little more detail in our guests here. We have some good friends here today on the show with us, John Anderson and David Hewett. Hey, guys.
Yes, friends of the pod. What's going on, guys?
Friends is a strong term.
Wow. All right, I think we need to end the pod now. Get Dave out of here. Oh, thanks, John. Appreciate that.
My name is John. I'm the happy one.
Dave's the ungrateful one.
John is the positive one.
I'm Dave, and I'm an acquaintance of the pod.
We found you off the street. It's like, hey, man,
good.
come be on our pod.
You wanna talk
please
about
give us.
Millennials? Yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
No, Nick, we realized just before we came on that all of us, except for John and I, have been roommates before.
Yeah, no, this is true. I think we've all been shifting through Dave as he becomes more and more of an acquaintance for all of us.
Yes.
Clearly.
Shifting through Dave sounds wrong. Use that terminology.
Hey, you brought this on yourself. You don't blame me for this.
No, this is your fault. So if y'all want to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you do in life.
John's more interesting.
In our time post-Pepperdine commune, we all did go to Pepperdine together, but now everybody except me has graduated. So what do you do, John?
Great question. I am...
Do you not know? Are you making this up?
I mean, isn't that kind of
He's
the cornerstone of being a millennial, is you don't really know.
Ooh, we're kind of amorphous in what we actually do. Yeah, this is true. I'm simply a human.
Well done.
That is what I do.
Yeah.
Shut it off. That's the pod. We've discovered the secret.
Drop the mic. There we go. My name's John. I'm a musician, first and foremost, I would say. Not in terms of income, but in terms of passion.
Got it.
Yeah, there we go. I also work in recovery of alcoholics and drug addiction. So I work there on the weekends, and then throughout the week I'm making music for wedding videos, for documentaries, for... I just recently licensed some music, which is cool.
Wow.
It's more of a professional business side of it.
Nice.
And then I also make my own stuff for my artist profile.
Very cool.
Which is definitely the most fun. But yeah, kind of finding my way and how to do that more and more often.
Yeah.
So.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but for Pepperdine's upcoming Dance in Flight production, you're making all that music, right?
Indeed. I finished that. I worked with a good friend, Jack Miller.
Who will be on the pod at some point. Jack's a future guest on the pod.
Shout out to Jack.
Yep.
We made transitional videos for the dance performance, so should be pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Recent grad. New millennial,
recent grad.
New millennial.
And Dave, who are you?
I'm just a dude.
Wow.
Just a dude off the street.
Gonna roll with this the whole pod. Don't actually know people.
No.
We promised you leftover pizza, and that's why you're here.
All leftover pizza?
All leftover pizza.
So I'm
we
Dave.
We have beer and pizza. Please help us.
I'm Dave, as has been stated. I still work at Pepperdine, trying to find my way. Just took
It's a good job.
It's a great job. Shout out to Brian Thomason for the position. Studying to be a lawyer. Just took the LSAT.
Whoa! Yesterday, right?
Yesterday.
Wow, how'd it go? Thoughts on the LSAT?
It's a test.
Oh, that's a great start.
Wow, yeah, goodness. You're getting into law school for sure with that kind of
logic. It's about presenting evidence. But yeah, it was cool. I mean, I don't want to do it again.
Okay, that's fair. Hope you got a good score.
Yeah, that's a one and done test.
Yeah, for my sake.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
I'm also pretty proud to be a millennial. I love our generation, so just want to throw that out there at first. So I know you guys could be critical, but
Yes,
I'm
well,
a fan of.
Hey, you're right, dude.
Before we get into that, for those who haven't listened to the pod before, this is Between Two Millennials, a social commentary on all things millennial. We are going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about finance. Today, we're going to talk about health, and we're going to talk about some culture. But before we get there, John and Dave, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the millennial condition.
Well, the millennial condition is it's complex, as the millennial is.
Yes.
I think part of being a millennial is believing yourself to be more complex than anyone else.
Maybe unnecessarily so. Egotistically.
Our problems are not understood by anyone.
Right.
I think a good way to view it is to laugh at it alongside seeing the truth of it, because I think there's balance in everything. I think that's the best way to view things. So there's like this weird side of, from our perspective, we are millennials and we have this unique perspective of the world, and from maybe our parents' side or generation above us, we're privileged and just seeing reality now. And I think both sides are valid. I think the way we were raised puts us in a unique position. But also we have a lot to learn from the generation above us.
I disagree. Millennials are the only generation worth listening to. Dave, your thoughts?
I disagree with what you just said.
Get out. Why do you keep insulting me? You need to leave.
He's only an acquaintance.
Basically, I agree with a lot of what John said. I think the label millennial is kind of used by pundits to make fun of our generation.
This is very true.
Usually
accompanying with a funny or bad Instagram video.
Yeah, it's like Tommy Lahren is all about the snowflake.
Good old
the snowflake.
I really don't think there's anything wrong with caring about your fellow human and embracing your feelings. And I've also studied a lot of history, and I think it's often the case that people from the older generations kind of look down on the new generation coming up, and that's just because their time is over. So I hope that our generation can kind of look back to these times and say we embrace the new generations below us and aren't gonna make fun of them.
Do you find yourself actively embracing Generation Z kids though?
I mean, they're too young to have relevant thoughts yet, I think.
So all Generation Z is irrelevant, is what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
Isn't that what Generation Y said about us? And then
blanket statements
before that, the
coming in.
baby boomers,
I mean, if you want to if you want to invite a 5-year-old on your podcast, be my guest. But
looking for eloquent 5-year-olds. Please send any resumes to our Between Two Millennials
Send everything
email.
you have.
Yeah, you guys need an email.
We do. It's betweentwomillennials@gmail.com.
Great.
Hey, nice plug. Nice plug.
That was so smooth too. Didn't even have to force that in there. All right, cool. So let's move into our first topic of the day.
Yep. Let's make a transitional shift here. Well done.
We are. Yes, that's beautiful. We are going to call this segment Overprescribed. So I have a family member, someone I'm very close to, who has really been struggling with prescription med addiction. And I think it is an issue that across the board in America, many people struggle with. And this particular individual is on antidepressants and sleep meds and is talking about how they are basically addicted. Whenever they go off of it, they have serious withdrawals. And, I'm wondering, as a 22-year-old kid, basically, how do I support people like this? How do I really have a meaningful impact in their life without simply saying, hey, get off the meds, that's killing you, obviously. While also recognizing that a lot of these meds have really positive impacts in people's life. And so, John, I have a couple questions for you as someone who works with recovering addicts and whatnot. first of all, do you think kind of across the board this addiction to prescription pain meds is systemic, or is it based on an individual, or is it more of a combination of both?
To keep in line with my previous statement, I would say a combination of both, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
As we've said, I work in rehabilitation, so it's this weird world of, and specifically young adults, it's this weird world of seeing these young men and women come in that are getting off, heroin, meth, alcohol,
Prescription drugs.
prescription drugs also, and really from all I've seen a lot of different addictions. Video game addiction is also one. It covers a lot of ground, and it's this weird world of seeing them. They come in, and then what happens is they need medication to sleep. They need medication to fight their anxiety, and it all comes from detox and from getting off these life-changing drugs.
Yeah.
So where's the balance of relying on those things versus just going cold turkey and
Right.
not taking anything?
Yeah. So on average, how long does somebody stay in your clinic, and then when they get out, what is kind of like the post treatment? Like, do y'all keep up with them? Like, what's the accountability there?
Yeah, I think a lot of programs do a good job of checking in with clients once they leave, and it's definitely a mix. It depends on the client of whether they're successful or not.
Yeah.
And honestly, the biggest thing I've seen is the community around them that's helping. I think that is more powerful than medication.
Yeah.
Of actual relationships with other people that keep people sober, that keep people happy. Because I think it's always more powerful to run after something than run away from something. If you have a goal that you're going to. Sorry, I got a little lost. What was your original question? More of just...
I don't really remember, but I do have a follow-up for what you were saying.
Yeah, I also.
Okay.
You first.
So what, as people who are often interacting with individuals who are coming off of this, how do we support them? Because you're talking about like having these meaningful relationships. But is there anything particular that we need to do specifically to really support them? Or is it simply a matter of being present for them, loving on them, being active in their life?
I mean, I think that is a specific thing to do, is to treat, and this goes back to the original thing of like systemic or individual. I think if you see the individual, you have the best shot of helping them specifically, because if an anti-anxiety medication works for one client, it's not going to work for everyone.
Right.
And some people are alcoholics, and some people like to drink casually. Some people can't drink casually. That's one thing I've learned a lot, is like it just doesn't, it's either you drink nothing or you drink everything. So I definitely think one of the best ways to help is to see the individual and not just another data entry of, if you're coming off this drug or if you are this depressed, you follow this medication pattern. Right. Which goes back to the original question again of maybe the system is taken too literally, coming up with an individual treatment plan for each person is vital, I think.
I have a question just to follow that up for Patrick. Actually, I know
Yeah.
your family is acquainted with like medicine, and I know my family has had very good experience with prescription drugs in that,
Right.
you know, when they're balanced correctly, they can make a real change in their lives, and that change would can be like life-saving in things like depression and other serious mental illness. But I know your dad, or I think dad, works in medicine. Like,
Correct.
what is the responsibility of the like medical professional? Like, how does
Yeah.
that change this like issue?
So I really liked what John was touching on earlier about having to make sure that these sorts of plans are made for each individual person, and they're not just some large blanket, statement saying, hey, you're displaying X, Y, or Z symptoms, so you need 1, 2, or 3 drugs. I think it is very important to make sure that each individual person, is accounted for, and saying, hey, great, this is what you need in this particular situation, and this is how your body reacts to certain things, or what have you. Because these drugs are powerful, and they definitely can affect people in different ways, and what works for one person might not work for another. So it's definitely all about making sure that you're accountable to that person, and frankly that the patient might even be accountable to themselves to say, hey, this is something that could work for me, or this might not be something that I'm comfortable with, or maybe I need to take it in a half dose, or something along those lines, to where it's kind of a two-way conversation. It's not just saying like, okay, you're a doctor or you're a medical practitioner, you must clearly have all the answers for everything here, because that person at the end of the day is also an individual, and individuals can make mistakes, or they might not know all of the facts either. So I think it's definitely important to make sure that it's a conversation, and that both people are interacting with each other to kind of come to the best conclusion, saying, yes, this might work for me, or no, this might not work for me. Because I think as a whole, America is overprescribed, and I think a lot of times it's just easier to go with the prescription drugs.
Yeah, and that was the point I was going to touch on next, Nick, because I feel like as a consumer, I feel like the doctor's job is very difficult in these situations, because the consumer is going to want to come in and solve the issue as quickly as possible. And so doctors are under pressure to prescribe basically something that'll give them, at least initially, some sort of better feeling about whatever their condition may be. And so I guess systemically this points to an issue in the system. That was very circular. Systemically points to an issue in the system. It points to a potential flaw in the way that we prescribe, right? Because doctors, I know that in hospitals and in clinics, there are outpatient surveys that are given to people who have recently been prescribed. And oftentimes the career of a doctor is based on those outpatient surveys. But if a patient is not given the meds that they want, or if they're not giving something that's a quick fix, then obviously those surveys are going to be done, or they're going to be bad. And so,
with potential bias, right?
Exactly. No, with a huge bias. And you also look at medical advertising today. I mean, everything is always talk to your doctor, talk to your doctor. Like, you see this drug, it'll make you better, talk to your doctor, right? And so, I'm wondering, as we're looking at this issue broadly speaking, whether the way that meds have been advertised is also leading to an issue in that. Because today, there isn't so much, like you were saying, individuals are not as concerned with, I guess, self-policing. It's always like, the doctor told me to take this, so I'm going to take it. Also, I saw it on TV. Looks like it'll make me happier. I was running around with a dog on TV, or the person was running around with a dog on TV again. Like, oh, I want to do that again. And so I wonder, how, and John, this goes back to you, like, how do your patients kind of react to that? And I know they're typically younger, and so they're pretty much just doing what they're told. But how do we fix that issue? How do we move the consumer to be more proactive in what they're taking, and also recognizing when they become addicted, or when this drug is no longer helping them? It's simply a way to get high.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's a big question.
No, it's a really
Yeah,
good
John, you
question.
jump in, and then I'll jump in after you.
Okay, I'll jump in first. I'll test the water.
Perfect.
There's my humor for that.
John Anderson's one humor moment.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, I think one thing treatment centers can do really well is to keep a really close eye on who's being prescribed what and why. And it's also important that the client knows that, because you don't want a client that is taking all these meds and is like, I don't even know what these do, you know?
Yeah.
My work does a good job of making sure they know. And I hope that all treatment centers do.
Right.
And then it's really important to taper off, you know, like as someone becomes more comfortable in who they are without drugs, like their DOC, their drug of choice, before coming in, and they start to become more like themselves, you want to progressively taper them off whatever they're taking.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I mean, I can't imagine, because I don't take medication like that, so I can't imagine that struggle of you're becoming more yourself, and then it's like, do I still need these meds that are helping me not have anxiety?
Be who I am.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think the ideal for everyone is to not have to medicate with chemicals and stuff.
Right.
But I mean, we medicate with everything, so that's a much. I don't want to open it up to that.
Yeah,
but like,
right.
Yeah, that's a deep conversation.
Yeah, we'll not go there, because that could be a whole podcast series.
Yes.
So yeah, it's such a tough balance of showing someone the comfort of being himself or herself without their drug.
Yeah.
And it's really just a long process of then taking out all the other byproducts, or not byproducts, all the other steps, I guess, you've used to get them
Right.
further along.
Right.
But I mean, I think it's also important to like know when people are better with prescription drugs, like
Exactly.
because there are people who like are themselves more with like one antidepressant, and like
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to like downplay that, in that like it helps a lot of people.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's a problem, but there's also millions of people who are aided with these types of drugs.
Yeah.
Right, and I think that touches on our conversation about it being an overprescription crisis, because some people, obviously this does give them benefits to their health and enables them to live the life that they're looking for. But I think a lot of the times is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, John, a lot of the times when you guys receive clients, it's because they've fallen into that overprescription maybe trap, where they've, maybe they don't feel that they've become themselves again, or maybe they think the issue is still around, so they keep taking, and then maybe that might not be the case, and they're actually, taking when they don't have to, and it becomes more of an addiction than a help per se. And I think that touches back a lot of the times on us having to do some self-policing and some accountability on ourselves too, to make sure that we're in the right spot to be taking these, or whatever the case might be.
Totally. Yeah, it's definitely the case where if someone is used to, smoking something or injecting something or taking a pill, that like that was their addiction, so they probably want to get away from that entirely,
Right.
even if they're over the counter approved or like prescribed approved drugs. They probably want to get away from that and then just focus on fitness or music or art to
Fill that void.
exactly.
Interesting.
It's crazy how how different it is for each person. And we could even talk about obesity in America as a form of self-medication, like it.
Mm-hmm.
We have Dave here on the show to help us discuss that.
Dave was
Dave,
once on
can you
my
share
800-pound life.
Can you share your experience with us?
Share the HBO special.
I mean, everyone could go watch it. It's on YouTube. I only ate cheesy potatoes for 8 years.
Oh God.
But back to what Dave said. I totally
About cheesy potatoes.
They're delicious.
Like I think we shouldn't just bash it, because like medication exists because people are sick.
Yes.
And all these other things help people in different capacities. So
Yeah.
Like if you take a pill every day to feel base level and normal, then that's awesome that we have that technology.
Yeah. So I guess going back to the original point before we drift into our next topic. Drift is the word of this episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
Slow but steady.
How do we respond? What do we do if we are interacting with somebody who may be struggling with addiction? How do we help them, and then how do we support them kind of throughout that journey?
I mean, I have little to no experience with someone who is addicted to like prescription drugs, but just in my experience in life, when someone is having an issue that is more serious, I think the best thing you can do is listen and not try to advise. I think they'll get enough advice from people that are more qualified than you, and I think that's very true of like the millennial generation in a lot of ways. I think a lot of times we don't listen enough. And we try to like just kind of tell everyone what's right, and I think we would benefit from listening more.
Sorry, what are you saying? I wasn't listening there. Can you say that all over again?
Yeah, I'm gonna repeat it. It's gonna be a really entertaining minute of your podcast. Who's the loser now?
Adding a lot of value.
Shoot, man. It's like already at 7 hours recorded. Gosh.
I totally agree with Dave. I think listening is the best tool, at least the best first tool, and then you can therapy or find other methods throughout recovery, and recovery in all senses of the word.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite part of the job, is listening to these people's stories, and then because what are each of our individual drugs really filling for us? It's probably that void you mentioned, Patrick. It's loneliness or isolation, So
Right. Oh, absolutely.
I think Dave nailed it.
Yeah. I think that was good. I think a lot of the times too that firms like what John's are doing as far as people that are affected by these is a good void that has to be filled. I guess that was pretty lame terminology there, but something that can kind of give people that outlet that they need to escape their own cycle, because a lot of times we as friends or family members can say a lot of things and try to advise and say, oh, you need to be doing this or that, but a lot of the times too it's tough too, because if that person is in that cycle, they might not feel like they can rely on themselves to pull them out. So I think a lot of the times too that places like John's, where people can go and seek advice and not feel like they're being confined to some institution or some recovering rehab center, and they can feel like they've got a real shot and can have a good way to recover, I think is very beneficial.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that was a pretty dark-hearted subject matter.
Oh, dark-hearted.
Not the dark-hearted again.
He told you about dark-hearted?
Oh yes,
I couldn't
was
think of
here
the
for
opposite of lighthearted, so it's dark-hearted. Anyway,
For those listeners that care, it's heavy-hearted.
Heavy-hearted. Oh, there we go.
It sounds like a terrible like romance novel series.
Dark-hearted.
It's probably
Dark-hearted.
Next week in
Coming this summer. Coming this
Cindy
summer.
kills Joe. No, moving into a more lighthearted topic, we are going to look at songs that define our life, looking specifically at different generations of our life. Or different decades of our life. So here's the plan. Everybody's going to go through and name 3 songs that impacted one that impacted them in their 90s, one that impacted them in their thousands, and one that impacted them. Is this the 10s or the teens? What do we call this decade?
late teens.
I've been
Late
calling
teens?
it the 10s. The late teens. So only from 2015 on.
Okay.
The teens.
Not 14 or 13.
No,
2013.
Well, oh, so yeah, okay, I got you. So
10s, teens.
the whole-
Anyway, the
the whole
decade from 2010 to now.
To
To now.
2017.
Yeah. So Nick, what you got? What are your songs?
Well, let me tell you guys, I slaved over this for hours, man. 2 nights ago, I was about 6 margaritas in and struggling to find which songs that I could come up with, and we found up some great topics here. So let me pull my list here from my phone. We decided that the 90s, we were going to go with a little bit of House of Pain, particularly Jump Around. All-time classic.
Wow.
All-time
man.
classic.
Classic. If you need a
my
hype
God.
song from your early childhood, you look up House of Pain. You will not be disappointed.
Wow.
And
okay.
then so in the course of our margarita-filled night, we discovered that the 2000s was just the angsty early teenage years. So we got we have some hot topics here. So let me go down the list, because this one we needed a list for. We
You
went
have
all the way
multiple?
from Breaking Benjamin
Oh
to
my.
Heartless from Kanye West
Ooh,
to Smash
wow.
Mouth. Yeah.
No.
And then
That was
we need to throw in the, was it 2005 classic with Soulja Boy Tell 'Em, dude. That one needed to be mentioned.
Soulja
That one
Boy
was
up in it.
necessary.
Oh, that was 10 years ago.
Oh, did Soulja Boy just walk in the room?
Well, I'm here, guys.
Soulja Boy is here.
I'm
with
now
us
Soulja.
Oh god. Is that guy even like still alive? I swear I haven't heard anything since that song
I
happened.
mean, would you do anything else after you made that? He's probably
God,
just like
no, dude.
sleeping
He
in
made-
a bag of money.
Didn't he make Kiss Me Through the Phone too? Kiss
Yeah.
Me Through the Phone.
Wait,
Yeah,
was that
Soulja
really?
Boy's back.
Who did
He's back.
Who did he sell his boy to?
Ooh.
It's like, hi, I'm Soulja Boy.
Oh my gosh, shut up. Shut up.
Shut up, John.
To him.
These
All
are
right,
I don't
questions
know.
we ask ourselves.
John's on mute
And
now,
then-
officially for the rest of the podcast.
John's
He's not
on
allowed
mute.
to speak.
Oh god.
All right, the ones
And
you
then-
got for the teens.
Dude, the teens were, man, this was the hardest decade to find, in my opinion. But the one we ended up settling on, and this might not be my personal favorite, but it has to be mentioned, is the entire album of Rebecca Black, circa 2010.
I'm done with you.
That was a life-shattering
We're
album.
roommates.
Oh my gosh.
That was a life-shattering
Oh.
album, and you guys know it.
It's Friday, Friday.
That was like a box.
We went
And
from
that-
Soulja to
that was the
Rebecca.
whole course of Friday night.
In one
It's
podcast.
insane. Man, we should. I think I'm just gonna sing every song from now on, and then I will
honestly-
shapeshift. I will drift into their bodies and become.
Do we
them.
really need an intro song with this amount of musical talent here on the podcast?
I know, like having
Yeah,
me
that
on
was
here is
that
like,
was an entire Friday night fueled with frozen margarita mix.
Wow, that was pretty cool. All right, John,
Oh
what
yeah,
you got
it
for
was
us?
deep.
Oh man. This is
Follow that one, John.
a tough category because I feel like you could have a song for every month.
Yeah,
You know,
every
but-
day.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But thinking back to the half of the '90s, I had the privilege to participate in.
Mm-hmm.
What a decade, first of all.
Yeah, what a great time.
What a
What a
decade.
time to be alive.
What a time! What a time, ladies and gentlemen.
My anthem for the '90s. I don't even know the title, the official title, but it is none other
the EP
than
release.
it is none other than the Arthur theme song.
You want to give us a
I
sample real
believe
quick?
performed by Ziggy Marley.
Okay, so Ziggy's here now to sing for
I feel
us.
like my fists are getting clenched already.
Oh yeah, it's wow. What a jam! It really gets you.
That's
going
a
in the
timeless,
morning.
timeless classic.
It is timeless, like. Oh, yeah. So that's my '90s song. I think that speaks for itself. My 2000s,
no more necessary thought.
2000s was a tough tear between. Oh man. So I listened to a lot of classic rock with my dad.
Avril Lavigne and Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, my father's a huge Avril Lavigne. No, I remember being in the car and listening to a lot of Led Zeppelin with him, specifically the song "Good Times, Bad Times." And it was this weird thing. My parents didn't want me to listen to the current. I couldn't listen to Soulja Boy.
Oh, dude,
Because
same.
Soulja Boy
I did that
talked
'cause I was a
about
rebel.
degrading women
Oh,
and
right.
using drugs.
Right.
And good thing no classic rock does that ever. So I think my parents just. I am grateful because I prefer that music over Soulja Boy. Sorry, Patrick.
And sorry, Soulja.
none-
We know you're out there
Sorry,
listening.
You know what?
Soulja.
You don't
in
need
the
to
room.
apologize to
He's in
me
the
because
room.
Soulja Boy was a time I'd care to never live
but-
again.
Yeah, just kind of
Exactly.
ironic that going back now and seeing what a lot of Led Zeppelin is actually about.
Yeah.
Don't you work in an institution that
I-
helps people get off of drugs?
I do work in an institution where some people may have become addicted by listening to such bands.
Oh, God.
But I love it, and it helped define a lot of my musical taste now. As for this current decade we are in, oh man, I think I came to the conclusion that it's got to be Regarding Stax by Bon Iver. He's my favorite artist, I would say, currently. It's a great song. He just released a new album this year too, so that's
Great album, by the way.
Yeah, or I guess
loved it.
I guess last year technically, but
It's 2017.
Yeah.
Dum dum dum.
but that song is, yeah, his whole artist experience is something I cherish. So
Artist experience. Very great wording there.
Only an actual artist would say that. I don't think I've ever used those words in conjunction
yeah,
before.
you're not allowed to say.
I'm
that.
not an artiste.
Artists hate him.
Wait, I make podcasts. Doesn't
No.
that make me an artist?
It makes you a millennial.
Oh no! Foiled again.
He's been
That's
had.
the twist. You were a millennial the whole time.
No.
It's like an M. Night Shyamalan movie in here. Plot twist.
All right, Dave.
So I woke up a few hours ago and put this list together. in
That's good
bed.
because it's 1:30 over there.
Yeah. So I think for my 90s, I would do the Batman theme by Danny Elfman, which accompanied the animated series that I watched after school every day. or
Was it
after
the 60s
preschool.
animated series or like further along?
No, like 90s, man. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. Dude, but the ones from
Yeah.
the 60s were so good.
Pedrick, you peasant.
The
Go back to
Whams?
60s.
You're a peasant. Go back to the 60s.
We don't want you
Are
here.
you kidding me? That was so good.
But funny as it might sound, I think that like early exposure to like comic books and superheroes really kind of affected my sense of justice and like what is right and wrong. So I think that comes at an early age, and that's actually like one of the reasons I took the LSAT. So that's part
So
of
thank
it.
you, Batman.
To be like,
Thanks, Batman.
Be like Batman.
The real MVP. No,
I'm
I actually
really-
just want to be
oh.
Two-Face. Get my face
God.
burned up by acid.
Yeah, but please less acid.
And then, what is it? Aughts? 2000s?
Oh yeah,
Is
2000.
that really called
It's
the
called
Aughts? Oh.
Anyways, I would do Songs of Innocence, the whole album by U2, which actually came out in the teens, but it's about coming of age and U2 is one of my favorite bands. And then Now is definitely an album by the Beatles, because probably Revolver or Abbey Road, because in the teens is when I actually started giving a crap about what I listened to, and the Beatles are kind of like the epitome of good music. And also they just have like a lot of good themes of kind of life and sadness and emotion, and sadness and emotion is stupid.
So wait, would you say that the Beatles like encompass sadness and emotion?
My millennial opinion says yes.
I think I Am the Walrus is perfect for that.
Yeah, I Am the Walrus. That's
Yeah, that one is
my
that
song.
one is the top quality. That's
You're
the
with
perfect
Dave Hewett, who
epitomizing song.
Encapsulated the Beatles experience.
Yeah.
I Am the Walrus. Sadness, emotion.
Fun. Well,
Nice.
for me, when I was a kid, I just wanted to be the very best.
Oh.
Like no one else ever
Oh,
was.
baby.
You know what I mean, Nick?
Power Rangers.
I'm reading you loud
Hell
and clear.
no!
Yukio?
No, we're getting closer.
Did you?
I really wanted to go out and catch things, because it was a test. But
Cicadas.
I wanted to make them even better
Preach it.
than what they were.
Cicadas.
I have traveled across the land, searching far and
Do
wide.
you want us to stay here?
Bam, bam,
In
bam.
Pokemon, do you
You guys wanna do this
understand?
yourselves?
Yeah, so
Hey.
the song of my 90s was the Pokemon theme song, of course, and I still to this day play Pokemon. It was
Thank you,
very
Japan.
much a defining part of my childhood. Actually, Nick, you missed it the other night. We played randomized Pokemon Stadium, which was
That
much
actually
fun.
sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like the N64 version?
The N64 and trust, like when you have
Oh,
a
man.
Poliwag destroying a Moltres, you know it's a good day.
You know it's a good
No,
we
it's a
also
good
learned
day.
that John is terrible at randomly selecting Pokemon.
I think I got a.
Wait, how can you be terrible at random selections?
On one team.
Oh god, okay, say no more.
He also drafted Metapod twice.
I drafted
Dear.
Metapod twice.
Yeah.
I got like 4 Eradicates.
Yeah,
in all
it was
the things-
bad.
in all the games we played.
At least-
It was really bad.
At least you got a really defensive stacked team with all those Metapods, dude.
All they know is string shot and tackle.
They didn't even have hard.
I
They
couldn't
didn't
use
have
Harden.
Harden.
They don't have Harden?
Yes. Can you believe that?
I am disappointed
It's
in
okay.
the randomly generated Pokemon Stadium.
John and I were on a team and we crafted a dope winning strategy around string shot Metapod.
We would have won if Steven Beltramo hadn't shafted us in the
Well,
final minutes.
Steven doesn't know how. Anyway, so looking at the thousands, I have to say it was kind of the first time in my life I really started listening to music. And as I was living in Dubai at the time, I listened to pop that was on the radio there. And the song that I would say was most memorable was Rockstar by Nickelback.
Oh my god.
Oh baby, you got the
Yes.
Nickelback ticks though.
I got the Nickelback,
Mercy.
and it was kind of it all culminated in my freshman year of high school, going to a Nickelback and Seether concert.
You have not
No.
been to a Nickelback
I
concert.
have been to a Nickelback concert. It's the first time I've ever seen a blow up doll too. Didn't really know how to handle that one, but yeah, I don't still listen to Nickelback for the record. Not that I have the worst opinion of Nickelback, but
I do.
It
I have the worst opinion.
I think the rest of America does.
I just recognize it's a part of me. I'm pretty sure I still have Rockstar on my computer somewhere. But
Oh no.
the final decade, the tens, teens, the aughts, is that what you said?
The aughts is like 0 to 10.
Oh, I was really confused when you said that. No, I'm glad that we cleared that up. Yeah, it was causing me anxiety. So the the teen decade, I would say, is when I really kind of came out in society. I started talking to females, because up until really like 2011 that didn't happen. I was homeschooled, and the only females I talked to were
Classic.
my mom and my sisters. So
And the women in Adventures of Odyssey.
exactly, yes, they were my only female friends. So when I finally got out in society, I needed to develop skills in order to learn how to talk to people. But I found myself always saying really stupid things, and so I would say the song that defines that decade for me is "My Stupid Mouth" by John Mayer. because he is at a
Wow.
dinner conversation and said something really, really stupid. And to kind of give you all a little bit of background, I told the girl she looked like Voldemort once. Yeah.
Like,
And you're telling me she didn't
Horcrux,
take that as a
or-
compliment?
No, I was like, hey, I think your nose
Huh.
kind of looks like Voldemort's nose.
He doesn't have a nose.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I said it. I said it
that didn't go
without.
over well.
I said it without intending to insult her. It's just more like, oh, observation. So.
You don't have a nose.
I can't tell which is worse, that comment or like, did you ever tell them that you liked Nickelback? Because that might have been the real problem.
That was the day you got stabbed
There-
at school.
There was a
He still
Facebook
carries
status
scars.
from long ago of me trying to sell Nickelback tickets. And
This is my
Nick, you know it.
favorite
What
post.
is it? What is the post?
It says, what was it? It was like, hey, who's got who's got the Nickelback tigs, dough? It's spelled da Nickelback tigs. Tix.
Oh
The
my
Nickelback
God.
tigs.
Soldier Boy hijack your first
Soldier boy up in it. Oh! No. I didn't listen to
The
Soldier Boy back then.
Nickelback.
Where them Nickelback ticks at though? Good
God.
times.
My
Well,
favorite post.
yeah. That was cool. I like all of those songs. I'm gonna go make a playlist of all of those songs in
Of
there.
just those,
Of those
just
songs,
your
yeah.
3 songs.
Of all of our
This
songs.
is a terrible playlist.
we have
Because of
we have Rebecca Black, Led Zeppelin,
Oh, baby.
Nickelback. I was just kind of like listing everything.
Oh.
John just cast me a very judgmental look because he
Yeah,
thought I was
good.
putting Rebecca Black and Nickelback into the same category as Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Hall of Famers all around.
I mean, those aren't top quality artists.
I'm pretty sure Nickelback definitely won like a Grammy or two at some point.
I don't know about
that
that.
they made
But
themselves.
it was the Canadian version, the Grammy.
Bon Iver won a Grammy.
The Grammy.
And he-
Who's that? Sorry,
Bon Iver.
I think Nickelback is definitely better than Bon Iver.
It's Bon Iver.
Bon Iver.
Ooh.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. So
John is so salty right now.
I think that about wraps it up. Do y'all have any plugs?
Yes, I do. I'm slowly working on my social media, so catch me in a few weeks when I finally
Catch
made
me
that
outside.
happen.
How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
Yeah, we're work in progress there.
Beautiful. John.
No, make sure you tune in for this podcast. It's
This is like 40 minutes into the podcast. They're
Yeah.
already tuned in.
You also
next week.
Hey,
You also have
John, why don't you tell us a little
a
more about your
musical
musical
website.
talent?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I should do that.
You probably should.
I'm
You know,
John's
like during the whole
manager.
plug section.
Oh wait, that's all the time we have for
No,
today.
wait.
Catch us next week on the pod, same time, same place. Bye.
Buy my music.
Just kidding.
Bye bye music.
Okay, yeah.
All right, John, tell us a little more.
This shows you being an artist, like these days, you kind of have to be your own PR manager, and I suck at that. So
Mm.
if this helps
Yeah.
to the following here, I have music on a website that is mine. It is
Okay,
called
alright.
johnlowelanderson.com. Check it out. I do film scores. I do singer-songwriter stuff. I do electronic. I'm actually working on some cool doc projects right now, soon to come out. I'm on Instagram under that handle as well. That's about it.
We'll have to put that in the notes to spell it right out for you.
For sure.
Yes. Yes. John only paid us 10,000 monies to come on the show today because he knew that our
a
very
lot of
loyal
monies.
following.
Yeah.
It would be good. It would be
You
good
promised
advertising.
I'm
Or
getting
like-
paid in leftover pizza.
Exactly.
Oh,
Who are you
hell
again?
yeah.
Sorry. What's your name?
My plug is I have a Facebook.
And I don't have any plugs for today. But thanks for tuning in to Between Two Millennials. If you're listening on the iTunes app, please subscribe, rate, and review. We're trying to get trending on their charts, which would be swell. Otherwise, catch us next week, same time, same place. We don't know what we're going to be talking about yet, but it'll probably be marginally interesting.
Marginally.
It's a
Just marginally.
It's a great promise. You know?
We don't want to hype ourselves up too much yet.
No, we're very humble, but we're still millennials, so we're egotistical as hell. But Anywho, all right, catch y'all next week. We're gonna drift out of here. Did your freaking bachelor's degree help you figure that out?